Yo, what's up, sleepers? It's your boy, Eddbedhead, here in the Sleeping Cinema, and today with me I have...
JavierSenpai.
Aleksey, also known as Backstab246.
Yep, their social medias will be linked in the description below if you guys want to check them out. I highly recommend that you guys follow them. And there will also be timestamps in the description for our reviews on the movie if you want to skip to that. Now let's grab some tickets and grab our concessions. How's you guys' week been?
It's just an average week, really. Go to work, come
Nothing
home.
new this week? No new progress?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I started streaming again, so I'm trying to do more there. So, streaming about 2 hours a day if I can.
Oh, wow. What about you?
Right now I'm moving back into my old roommate again because trying to get a new apartment set up for next month. Or maybe move in with a guy right across the street right here.
He needs tenants.
Yeah, he does need tenants. You're just looking for a home to live. You go hit up / over here.
Backstab.
Backstab.
Yeah, there you go, backslash.
As for me, obviously, as you can see, me and May have made a new studio.
It is
Cameras, lights, the whole 9 yards. We're still getting more stuff in.
Job?
We're working on it. We're still getting new stuff in. It's all coming in slowly.
Yeah, this new studio looks great.
Better.
Compared to when we were at my place doing this looks...
Compared to when
Wow.
when me and May made videos in my bedroom of just me making Funko reviews in the corner of my room, this is an upgrade.
Yeah, see, I don't watch all the Funko upgrades.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's
it's like the Funkos you're showing. It's like
yeah, not the most interesting to everyone. I get you. It's a certain niche. All right. So with that, let's take our seats and let's get into the trailers. So, any new movies, TV shows, video games you guys are looking forward to?
Obviously, I'm looking forward to the Pokemon games. I'm also when the new Pokemon games come out, I am planning on doing a whole 24-hour live stream with that as well. So I'm excited for that.
24-hour live stream.
Wait, there's gonna be a new Pokemon game?
Yeah,
When is it
Diamond and Shining Pearl.
When is it coming out?
November something.
Okay, good. I have
think
time
it's like
then.
November 11th or something.
My Switch is all packed up right now, so I can't even touch it. Like I put it in a box. I'm like,
It's buried in
yeah,
stuff.
it's buried in an electronics box. And I can't grab it out and try to buy a
I
game.
could be wrong on the day. I think it's gonna be like November 11th.
As long as it's in
something.
November,
Yeah.
I'll have time to actually buy the old Pokemon game and try beating it in a day.
So that's the biggest game that I'm excited for. Movies, just your typical Marvel movies. So like last week we talked about Shang-Chi and all that.
Yep,
so I'm
Shang-Chi's
excited for
coming
that.
out soon. That's gonna be a fun one to watch. What about you, Javier? Any content you're looking forward to?
Nah, I can't think of anything off the top of it. I mean, I am excited. Like, I go to the movies every week, so I see a lot of trailers.
Yeah.
But I can't remember every single movie I see because I look at the theater, I'm like, we're gonna go watch this. And especially since I don't have like a certain genre I watch. Well, certain genre I don't watch. Besides, I think the only genre I think about now is just romance. I'm not a big fan of watching romance.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But like I watch like all the other genres. So like of course, with those genres they show this type of movie with that, and then this type of movie that connects to this kind of like the movie you're watching for that day.
Okay, I get you.
But yeah, I'm excited to see a lot of different movies that are coming out.
And as for me, let me talk about some of the trailers that are coming up. Alright, so Marvel Studios' What If? It explores what would happen if major events from the films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe occurred differently. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Based on what we saw in the trailer, there was a lot more than I expected in the trailer. Like, they packed in so much in that trailer. It was crazy.
Yeah, so much content in there. So many interesting storylines.
Like, what was one of the things...
I'm most excited for the Marvel zombies they showed in there.
That was one of the bigger things they saw. I saw something with the Hulk there, but I don't know what I saw there.
Well,
I just saw the Hulk in there.
Maybe a Planet Hulk, a different Planet Hulk. What if?
I would be so happy if in this What If they actually did the correct Planet Hulk storyline, unlike what they showed us in
Thor Ragnarok.
Because that is not Planet Hulk. That is not Planet Hulk.
Are they gonna add She-Hulk into this What If then?
I know she is casted for something, but I don't know if it's for this
I believe she's gonna be in the MCU.
Yeah, she's gonna be in the live action
and
movies.
it's in one of their movies. Okay,
Yeah.
I really when you played the trailer, I wasn't completely focused on it. You know, at the time when I arrived, I was eating. Yeah, so I was like
talking about Pokemon Go.
and Go. Yeah, so it was a mixture.
All right, next movie is Free Guy. A bank teller discovers that he's actually an NPC inside a brutal open world video game. So it's kind of like he's in GTA, and he's an NPC that got sentience.
Let's be honest, it's Ryan Reynolds, though, and he has free reign in this movie, basically. He can do whatever he wants in this movie.
And just like you pointed out earlier, this movie wasn't a different movie, but you said this movie kind of gives you the vibe as Ready Player One, or is that for Space Jam?
That's a Space Jam.
Okay.
Yeah.
But doesn't that kind of feel like the same concept as this? Like once he puts on the glasses, it's the same idea.
VR wise, yeah, I can see that, but
because in Ready Player One, it wasn't the same thing. Like you put on the VR, and then you're the main character, and like in a virtual world that you can choose an avatar to be.
It's a little bit of a stretch, but I see where you're going. I mean, it's not gonna be like Ready Player One because I don't see the cameos in there. There's like nothing I noticed in the trailer.
Yeah, I said with Ready Player One, it was definitely like it was more of a cartoonish game in like the virtual reality aspect.
I think it's a scary idea because like AI gaining sentience. I think the villain is right to try and shut down this game because if like a computer suddenly realizes, oh, I'm in a video game, or oh, I'm in a computer, let me get out of here.
Is that was that what's going on?
Yeah, because he's an NPC who's like, oh, I'm an NPC.
So the villain is someone trying to shut the game down.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
He wasn't paying attention to the trailer.
I was just watching Ryan Reynolds be Ryan Reynolds. Okay, so you can't blame me.
So I think that concept is kind of scary because it's the whole apocalypse of like Terminator, AI taking over the world.
In a more comedic way.
But maybe that's how it starts.
Maybe, yeah.
They're gonna add some love in there. They're gonna sprinkle that in there.
So that one releases August 13th of 2021.
Yeah, you never said the release date.
Oh yeah, Marvel's What If? I didn't say comes out August 11th of 2021.
As well. If an AI that had personality Ryan Reynolds started taking over, I'm just gonna say like, you know what, this might not be so bad. I mean, we might have a lot more joy out of our lives now.
That would be true.
All right, this movie coming next week. Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins. It's a G.I. Joe spin-off centered around the character of Snake Eyes. And it comes out July 23rd of 2021. So next week. At the time of recording this, it comes out next week. Thoughts on it?
I know nothing about G.I. Joe.
Me either.
Well, see, so like I said, the only thing I know about is based off the movies that I've seen. I mean, because, there's 2 movies off of this franchise. But I've never seen the comics. Never seen the old 1980 cartoons for it.
Yeah.
I just seen the movies, and I'm excited to watch it because, I don't know, I like the movies, but I feel like when I rewatched the first one, I was like, man, this movie's kind of bad. But you also got to think, I don't remember when that movie came out.
Yeah.
I never looked up the release date for the movie, so I'm thinking maybe it was good in its time frame. Like,
yeah, maybe.
When it was
Are you talking about live action?
Yeah, the live action.
Yeah, when I heard it did terrible when it first came out. I don't know when it came out. I think it was
2010.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but
2010 to 2011.
Hopefully they improve their quality in this 11-year time period they had.
Yeah, but this
it
also
looks like it, but
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to watch it. I like action, so this is gonna be.
I said at least this one's gonna be based off one of the characters that people love anyway, is Snake Eyes. So I'm excited for it. I want to watch it when it comes out.
So this might be next week's podcast. We'll see.
If it's next week's podcast, here's in advance me going to the movie. I will not be expecting much. So let's see if that opinion changes.
All right, up next we have Turning Red by Pixar. A 13-year-old girl turns into a giant red panda whenever she gets too excited. It releases March 11th of next year, 2022.
Oh, they have a release date for it.
Yeah, they already announced the release date for it.
Now I know what I'm watching in March.
Yeah, I don't see this movie being pushed back at all. I mean, what could they possibly push back in this?
Yeah,
COVID, bro. COVID's still around.
It's an animated movie. They can do this from home.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Because it's on Pixar, so that means Disney can just release it on there.
Oh, and Disney Pixar, yeah.
But giant red panda. When I saw the trailer, I think the red panda was cute. I mean,
Yeah, definitely
Red
a
Panda's
cute looking movie. I don't know how good it is. It's in terms of plot, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
They didn't really show us much in the trailer.
Yeah.
I feel like how long was the trailer? It was like what?
A minute and 40 seconds.
Yeah, they did release the trailer
Sounds
pretty
right.
early. We still got a whole year before it comes out. So,
Yeah, so there was nothing much in the trailer. Literally,
There's nothing much to talk about. It's just a girl that looks like she gets either excited or she gets scared or any type of emotion. She just go panda.
the weird thing is, why was the mother outside of school, and why did she start picking a fight with the security guard?
Yeah, maybe she knew that school was too stressful for the girl. I don't know.
It's only stressful because she was there embarrassing her.
Yeah.
I don't know. Based off the trailer, she seems like she had a giant test she was taking right there. She was.
I don't think that was not the cause. It was the mother. The
mother was very much.
No, I'm
making
saying
a
that's
scene.
probably why the mother was there, because she was worried about her daughter stressing out about the giant test that was in front of her.
And then she became the stressor.
The stressor, yeah. All right. So, what are you guys' thoughts before going into the Resident Evil series that just came out?
I didn't have high hopes for it, and rightfully so. Because, first of all, animation, with movies like this, with this type of animation, the only time I've ever saw another movie with this type of animation was not Resident Evil, Final Fantasy Advent Children. And that's a much older movie, but its animation is 10 times better, in my opinion. If not a little more clunky.
Ooh, we'll get into the actual review in a second, though.
Yeah, but if I was saying, not very high hopes, and like I said, rightfully so.
What about you?
Well, me personally, I was stoked for it. I mean, I'm a big Resident Evil fan. I like it overall, the series. I've seen the movies. I've seen enough gameplay. You really can't watch all the old games on YouTube because the quality and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a change in quality because they came out like in the early 2000s, didn't they?
Oh no, earlier than that.
90s? Whoa.
Yeah, well, they were like 90s games. I think Capcom released the first Resident Evil in 1995.
Oh wow, that was
to
pretty
be exact.
I didn't know that.
And the first Resident Evil was based off a different horror game. If you did not know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
It's based off a Japanese game called I think it was like House of Horror or something like that. So
it's got a lot of layers to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things with Resident Evil that started it all.
Yeah, my thoughts were I wasn't sure what to think either because I only know from like Resident Evil 7, and even then I only played like half an hour's worth, and I all I knew was it's like a horror puzzle game. So, and I was expecting it to be spooky. I actually tried to watch one of those timeline videos, but the story is just so convoluted. Like there's so many layers to it that I just got lost because there's a lot of characters.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's all over the place. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of things that happen. They're like, oh, by the way, that happened because way back then something else happened. And it's like, oh, okay, this is some like history stuff. Like
again, the game is old. It's back from 1995.
It's got a lot of story to it. I'll give it that. I also know everyone was simping over the vampire lady, so I was like, what am I getting myself into? What's my thought process? But you know what? I went in with an open mind. Alright, so with that, let's get into the spoiler-free review.
Were you guys expecting it to be scary or?
Oh, okay.
Were you?
I was expecting like some jump scares because from what I did play in the game, it wasn't necessarily scary. It was just like jump scares.
It was more. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Expecting more scary moments, like jump scares, like you said. Yeah, there was not much of that.
Yeah, we'll discuss that. All right, so the spoiler-free review for Resident Evil: Infinite Darkness. So it was released July 8th of 2021, starring Nick Apostolides, I can't say his last name, and Bill Butts, created by Hiro. You're laughing at his last name. Wow, he probably got that his whole life, you know.
Are you laughing at Bill Butts?
Yeah. It's a funny name. I'm sorry, but Bill
Wow.
Probably
Wow, they probably look at you and they think you're funny.
It was created by. Oh my god.
Bill Butts.
Created by Hiroyuki Kobayashi but it is rated TVMA. So, the plot summary. Years after the horrors of Raccoon City, Leon and Claire find themselves consumed by a dark conspiracy when a viral attack rages the White House. So, what are you guys' overall thoughts on the series?
Bad.
Like with the show or the whole
The show,
Okay.
the series show.
Oh, the show. I mean, for it just being 4 episodes. I mean, I fell asleep after the 3rd episode. To be honest, like I said, I like this. I like Resident Evil, but jeez, the show is there's a lot of talking.
Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, but there's also like the show takes place in a certain like time frame overall. So it's like if you don't know.
Yeah, you have to know the characters jumping into it because they don't really take the time to tell you, hey, this is what this person did and this is what that person did.
Or like why they're so important into the whole time.
Yeah.
I at least knew who Leon and Claire were, so that's the good thing.
I think they're the most iconic characters.
So at least I knew them, sort of.
So my overall thoughts were it was kind of an interesting story. I was decently excited watching it because the action was fun, but one thing that Aleksey mentioned was that there wasn't that many jump scares. The few that it had were good, but there wasn't too much scariness overall.
There were jump scares? I honestly didn't notice.
There was like one that I remember that we'll talk about when we can talk about spoilers. But yeah, it wasn't nothing too special. But regardless, I would still watch the next season if they were to release one. I don't know if they're going to pick up the series again.
Chances are, I don't think. If they do, they might just make like a continuation movie, like a separate movie, like a 45-minute thing.
Yeah.
You know, so here's something with that's not their first movie they've done. You know that, right?
Yeah, they've made a lot of movies.
Yeah, like I said, I think that's their second actual 3D animation movie that they related to the actual storyline for Resident Evil. Because I'm not talking about the live action movies. I'm talking about actual Leon and yeah. Because this is their second one that they've done. The first one's also on Netflix as well.
Okay.
So I watched both of them, and like, I mean, of course, I agree with Aleksey. This movie, even though it's a TV show, because they made it, but this TV show, this TV show doesn't feel like like she put it out, it's clumsy. Like, it just doesn't make it go smooth. Like, transactions and everything aren't as smooth.
Yeah, it was definitely a little hard to follow. What would you guys rate it? Out of 10.
Out of 10, I'm going to give it like a 7.
A 7?
Oh, come on, dude.
Too generous?
No, way too generous.
Hey, I like the show.
You fell asleep.
Bro, that's because there's too much dialogue for me a little bit. I also watched it at 12 o'clock at night. What do you expect?
I was watching it at 1.
Yeah, but you have a whole different work schedule than I do. I wake up at 6 every morning.
That's fair.
So 12 o'clock for me is like,
It's
man,
late,
I'm pushing myself really late tonight.
But yeah, I'd give it a 4.
A 4?
And that's a low 4.
Yeah. Oh, a low 4 too. Wow.
Yeah, mine's a solid 7. Not like a 7.1 or anything higher like that. It's just a solid 7.
Mine's is a 6. Like, it's like 60%, 60 out of 100, you know. You get a passing grade, but you could have tried harder. So let's compare this to some online ratings. The critics from Metascore gave it a 49 out of 100. So they were around your...
Yeah, that's a high 4.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter gave it a 50%. And the audience members on IMDb gave it a 6 out of 10. That's about what I rated it. And then the Rotten Tomato audience gave it a 45%. So I crunched all the numbers together, and the average for all those scores was a 51%. So it's like...
It's an E.
Yeah. It's an E.
It's a good E. It's a solid good E. Whoa,
So if you were thinking about watching, you were on the fence, probably you could skip this one. Now, before we jump into the spoiler-filled review, I'd like to take a moment to ask you to like this video if you're enjoying it so far. Comment down below on if you watch this movie or series. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helped me out. It means the world to me. Also, make sure to follow these guys. Their links will be in the description below. And with that, let's get into the spoiler-filled discussion. All right, so
I saw that.
so let's discuss certain scenes and moments. Like so the part that I said there was a jump scare was the rats jumping out of the corpse scene. I think that was a pretty good jump scare. I didn't expect it.
I got okay. So to me, I don't consider that a jump scare because it didn't jump out. It took a second to dig
Explode
out of the body. So you knew something was coming.
It's just like the Alien movie.
You knew what was coming, and the way the rat just came out of there, it wasn't fast. It was something you were anticipating to happen. So it wasn't much of a jump scare in my opinion.
I thought it was unexpected, and I was also questioning why they were zombie rats.
I don't understand. I might have skipped the entire thing, but why were they on the submarine again?
Yeah,
why? Because they're trying to get they're trying to go undercover to China because U.S. border. Like, remember, they're from the United States. China, United States.
Oh, the friendly
They always
relations.
butt head, yeah. So they're trying to get under the radar to China because they're trying to get to the one of the person that survived the attack from the show.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
hospitalized.
Oh yeah, and he's technically infected because he went like shee.
Yeah.
No, but he's got infected, and they're trying to the guy in the show is trying to reverse the effects from that.
Yeah, so even though he watched it, we still got lost on the story. So that just kind of shows how they executed it.
And like I was comment with the rat, like Aleksey said, like. It wasn't really, like, to me, it didn't feel like a jump scare because it was already, you could see it coming. I felt it, I could see it. I mean, again, I'm also really into the franchise, so a lot of the jump scenes aren't jump scenes to me because I've just seen enough of it.
Gotcha.
What was the girl's Jason's partner name?
Oh, I don't remember her name either.
You see how
I can fight you with
the warrant officer. I don't remember her name either. I didn't write her name.
But it was her brother that was infected, and I didn't find out that.
Are you sure it was her brother? I thought that was her fiance.
I think it was her brother.
I swear I thought it was the fiance.
We don't even know the relationship.
Like I said, after the third episode, like midway third episode, I think I fell asleep right after the building was in fire in the show.
Yes.
I fell asleep right after
the
that.
The building caught on fire when the fiance went to go, or
brother,
brother. Yeah, when the warrant officer went to go see her infected, related or non-related other. It's kind of a mess. All right, so I also want to talk about the scene where Leon and Jason were sitting together discussing the treason plan, how Jason was gonna commit treason against the U.S. I think it was kind of a weird scene because they were like casually sitting next to each other, talking about like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna terrorize the world with fear, and it's like, okay, you're laying out these plans now, like.
I got major pain vibes from him. This world shall know pain.
I did think it was cool how Leon was like quick draw McGraw. He's like,
he got him straight in the heart too.
Yeah,
that was a good shot.
Which also made me question like, how did Jason survive that gunshot? Like, it was perfect.
Oh, well,
he was infected.
Yeah, you gotta remember he's already infected.
Yeah, but why didn't he turn at that moment? Then?
Well, depending on the body's intake with the virus, because I believe the virus they used in the show was the G virus.
Okay.
So that one, like depending on how your body reacts to it, some people go faster, some people go slower. Showing us him, it took him longer to take effect and actually transform him to what he became into the end of the show.
He also had plot armor.
He also had plot right. They needed him to be the villain at the end.
It was a bad villain though.
So, what are some of the thoughts you guys had going into this movie?
Like I said,
or like watching the movie. I mean,
while watching the movie,
the show. I mean, I keep calling it a movie.
Well, it's a movie cut into 4 parts. Okay? Yeah, let's just say that. I'm gonna keep calling it a movie cut into 4 parts. While watching the movie, there were some situations that just straight up disappointed me. Animation wise, there's one scene that I really hated. I mentioned before. It's when they're having those flashbacks constantly, when they're getting hit by the.
Oh yeah, they're taking fire in the Middle East.
Yeah, in the Middle East, and they go hide behind a helicopter, right? And the running animation one of the guys has is just makes him look like a gremlin or something. His knees are touching almost like his face when he's running to the chopper, and it's so bad. And they show it like 3 times, and I'm like, I can't watch this scene. It's so bad.
Your thoughts while watching?
I mean, I was stoked. While watching it, I was kind of like, I got confused on how like half the team I felt like knew about what was going on, because you gotta remember the team that saved the one guy stuck under the helicopter. He already had antidotes.
Yeah.
In his pocket. Yes, so like, so you're telling me that a team already knew, one full team, or did half the team know, or did what? Like how did that lead up to that? You know?
Yeah, they didn't explain it very well.
As well as just like the fact that there was another zombie outbreak that took place the same time as when Raccoon City happened. How come this was never mentioned in the games
like
as well?
how did that even happen?
Greed. Because technically the main villain isn't Jason, who transforms at the end there. It's the what is it like?
Secretary of Defense.
Yeah,
I think
Secretary of Defense. He's the real villain.
Well, which at the time, remember, he was just a high-ranking officer giving the orders to just go out. And he's just like, yeah, forget about that team. And then Jason, the main guy, is like, no, we don't leave people behind. You know, and that's why he went to go save them, which ended up being his greatest downfall.
Yeah, they brought he ended up getting infected pretty badly. So I thought, my thoughts going through it, I'm like, is Leon supposed to be this dreamy? Like, he's really good looking for an animated character.
I think he's supposed to be.
He's always dreamy.
He's got that emo vibe.
Even Claire's looks the same at all times. So.
They don't age, bro. They don't age.
And another thing, Claire was barely part of the story. Like, she was the opening scene, and then she gets beelined for the whole series.
What was... she's just trying to expose something, but
she was a reporter.
She was just trying to expose Umbrella, but like
no, she was trying to bring schools and stuff into the Middle East, and that's why she wasn't a part of the story. The reason why I think they included her is because she's such a main cast in the whole series.
And if they have Leon, they gotta have Claire.
we gotta have both.
So that's the reason why they included her.
It felt like she was forced into the story. Like
that would make sense.
The events would have gone the same without her there. She didn't play any role in anything.
Another problem I had with this movie is while watching the movie, I feel like I was having deja vu the entire time. Like when Jason got killed and got impaled on the ground and then falls into the acid, I feel like I've watched that scene over and over and over again before. I don't know why I felt like that.
maybe it's because Resident Evil's done that kind of scene in their older games.
Maybe.
Or maybe just because that sequence went on for so long.
That might be the case as well.
It was just deja vu.
Yeah.
I think some of the action scenes were done very well. The dialogue was a bit clunky. Like, we keep talking about, like, what the heck is going on? We don't know because they didn't explain it to us.
You know, falling asleep also helps.
I do like how they presented both sides of like war in the Middle East, like the effect of PTSD that it has and the cost of civilian casualties. So like Jason struggling to, like we were talking about, save the civilian because he's like, I'm a human being. This is the bare minimum I should do. And at the same time, like his own government turning on him, and it's like, that's some heavy stuff.
And
that
then
they
same
were
with
about.
The PTSD, because thanks to that, him saving it, they realize a zombie outbreak happened, and all his entire team gets infected. And,
he lost everybody. They all committed suicide.
Yeah, I said, and they all die throughout the whole series, according to them.
Mm-hmm.
That, or they say they committed suicide, but what if it wasn't suicide?
Yeah, it could also be that.
That's what I was thinking. Like when I'm watching the show, I was thinking maybe it was just the Secretary of Defense picking them off one by one, because maybe he was like, you know what, I'm tired of your stuff.
Like they know too much.
Yeah, and so I was like, you know what, bang.
Yeah, it was some intense stuff. So I think that was a really good part of it. I also think it ended way too soon.
Yeah,
like it was a very small story.
The ending was
anticlimactic.
Yes.
Very anticlimactic.
Like, I was kind of hoping the speech the president gives at the end there, I was expecting more, because you know how basically they were about to start a war with China.
Yeah, like it was all this coming in at the end, and
he just mentions about protecting the peace. He doesn't mention China once. He doesn't mention that this war will not happen. He doesn't talk anything about that.
Because he got tipped off by Leon. It's like, you have that much faith.
Well, it wasn't even tipped off by Leon. It was tipped off by the other guy.
Yeah.
Their fourth member in their party, if I recall.
He could have exposed the entire thing right there and then. But he
Yeah.
didn't. And that was like, why aren't you doing this? You could stop this from happening, but you're over here just giving a speech about peace.
Trying to keep peace in the world.
Come on, just expose them and get this over with.
Expose Umbrella Corps. All right. My favorite moment. I actually like the firefight between the Mad Dog soldiers and the zombies when they were in that abandoned building in the Middle East. You remember? And the zombies started crawling in through the windows and shit. I thought that was really cool. How like they were shooting their guns and like it was lighting up the room in the middle of the night.
So good effects there going on.
Good cinematography when like the bullets would hit the floor and like they zoomed in on that shot. I think it was a really cool scene watching them actually, have action in there. Some intense action.
Mine honestly was the White House scene when the the zombies start
take over the White House.
Yeah, I don't know. I love that scene just because it reminded me of the old Call of Duty game. What's it called? Black Ops.
Yeah.
And playing in
I
don't remember what the map is called. But yeah, in that scenario, I like that. That's what it reminded me. I was like, man, that makes me miss Black Ops.
One of my favorite scenes is the scene where when Jason transforms, he grabs his partner's grabs his partner by the neck.
Yep.
And snaps her neck and like breaks her leg, and then when he drops her, she ragdolls. Like she hits the ground and she bounces up a little bit. It's kind of like a ragdoll effect, and it was done so well. It looks realistic and everything.
Yeah, like
so.
She lost all control of her body.
It was really cool to see. I mean, don't get me wrong, death like that is very brutal,
but it was presented well.
It was presented very well.
Yeah, realistic. Yeah, I agree with that. That was a pretty good scene. Moments that should be cut. All right, I'll start it off. I think the show, although the animation at times was good, it does look like a PS4 cutscene, the whole show. Like, I was watching the first episode, and the whole time I'm just, like, waiting for the game to start so, like, I can start playing it. And I don't know if it's just me, or my TV, but some of it looked a little blurry.
I can see that.
You guys saw? It was a little blurry looking. Like, sometimes it wasn't in focus all the way.
That might have been for me just being tired, too.
I wouldn't say this part should be cut, but they should change the name of the synopsis of the story, because something about the White House, there was not much going on in the White House. There was like a...
Well, it was just showing the team being introduced. Like, why?
Because it's... The zombies are taking over the White House, right? But there was like only 5 minutes in the
was
entire...
it 5 minutes?
It was like 5 minutes in the entire... Yeah, exactly. 5 minutes or less, the entire series where they show zombies in the White House, and that's it. And the story says the White House is being taken over. And like, where's the takeover?
There's not much of a takeover. What about you? Your favorite?
Well, like moments that should be cut?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Moments that should be... I said your favorite. Moments that should be cut.
I don't know. I think a lot of it needs to be worked on, honestly. Like, the whole show just needs to be, like...
Reworked.
Yeah, reworked.
Yes.
The fact that, like, again, the fact that they made it into a show is probably one of the big... Why it's, like, bad like that.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe they were hoping to make more seasons if they turned it into a show, but... That
might be the case. I mean, they still might do that, but I don't think it's going to be that high of hopes because how bad it's doing right now.
Yeah. I also thought it was a little too fast-paced. We keep talking about it over and over. The story felt rushed. Scenes and transitions was too quick. Like, so they went from being in the White House to suddenly being in the submarine. It's like...
Yeah, that confused.
How did we get from point A to point B so fast? It was...
You gotta rush it somehow. You can't just show all the... Now let's show the car ride, getting there. Now let's show
but
the
they could have had the dialogue on the car ride. Instead, they waited to have the dialogue when they were underwater.
And how did they get out of the submarine?
I don't know.
How did they get out? Oh, because the submarine blew up, and then
how did they get out then if they blew up?
Well, the Leon went, like, at the time, Jason and his partner were both up there already in the backups. Trying to think. It's an escape pod, basically.
Did I black out while watching a movie or something?
I
don't remember this.
They're already up in the backup escape pod, and I think the point of that submarine scene was to get rid of Leon. If you didn't realize, because
right, because they were killing the.
They intentionally killed them. And that's probably why the rats in that portion were already affected, because that's how it all started.
Okay.
They brought contagious rats, put it on a submarine, and let them take over the submarine slowly but steadily. And over time, I think they were probably underwater for like 6 hours or so already.
Yeah, it's a long ride.
That was a lot of rats, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They brought a whole crate full of them.
Yeah, and they infected one and let that one infect the rest of them, and let them all break out.
Yeah,
that's probably why
you do a better job at explaining it than the show does.
Well, again, like I said, I've seen it. I like the show.
Maybe you should be one of the show writers.
Just like, this is how it should have been, guys. Come on, let's make it clear.
All right. I also don't like how the villain did a 180 on his goals at the end. Like, he was willing to kill the warrant officer he was working with, but then when Leon yells something to him, he's like, oh, wait a second. Maybe this dude's right. Maybe I shouldn't expose myself, even though I'm about to have the upper hand right here. I'm opening the ceiling. And then Leon yells at me. Now I'm going to stop and talk to him and say, maybe I shouldn't do this. After he's gone through all the trouble, killing so many people, blowing up his warrant officer's house, killing her, and then he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm good.
No, yeah, that's a bit of a weird moment.
Yeah. Like, he was hesitating to do it at the very end. He was committed the whole movie to doing this. And then he's like, you know what? Leon says not to do it. I'm going to think about it for a second.
I think from that perspective, it's maybe because he thought about his old past, with the Mad Dogs. Maybe seeing like that, he's like, well, I don't want that same effect to happen to everyone else.
Yeah.
Because, being pressured, like his main goal, like you said, was fear, bringing fear to the world. But maybe he didn't want that same effect, like the same PTSD. Even though everyone else isn't like in the war, but maybe he didn't want the same effect as what happened to Raccoon City.
Yeah.
Because the government knows how to cover up things. That's a very statement in the Resident Evil series.
Apparently.
But yeah, that's what I can assume, and also is he didn't let the G virus that was already in him was taking more and more control.
Oh, it was consuming his mind, maybe.
Because his I can't think of the name. What's it called? His DNA is like what he's made of. I don't know the name.
Okay.
But that was all being affected at the same time because he just accepted the G virus. He's like, you know what? Have me, and that's why he turned into that giant ugly beast.
Okay.
So that's another reason, because he still has somewhat of a conscience.
Leon was reaching out to his humanity then?
Yeah,
okay.
And that's
I guess that makes sense.
That's why he probably slowed down his...
See, this is why you need to be a show writer, because I didn't get that the G virus was consuming his mind. I just thought...
I didn't even know the name of the virus.
Yeah, right.
There's a G virus, there's a fungal virus, there's a T virus.
The T virus.
The T virus starts it all, because based off the T virus is what's in Resident Evil, like the first one, and then Resident Evil 2, and then Resident Evil 3 is introducing the G virus, with the rest of the games going like that. And I think in 5/6 is when they introduce the fungi virus, and then the rest of the series is also about a different fungi virus.
I mean, next thing you know, it's gonna be airborne.
Yeah,
it is already airborne.
Oh, so we're all screwed already. You can't get away from it now.
All right, so you're fine.
Yeah, and there was another thing. At the end of the movie, when they could have exposed everything, like I said, they had the chip, they had everything. Why did Leon decide
to hold on to
it when, like, it is such a stupid move he made there? Like, you could end this all right here.
Yeah.
But you decide, no, I'm gonna do this my own way. Like,
he even tells Claire, he's like, nah, screw you, we're going our separate paths.
Like, it is so stupid. Just give the chip to Claire. She will expose everything. Everyone will know what's happening. I don't know what good that'll do, but...
So, here's my thought with that, is because, remember, the show is taking place of past and then present. They didn't say the time frame in present. It could be right after the video game that was just released.
It takes place between the 4th and 5th game.
But did they say that?
Did
they say the year in the show?
No.
So it could be in
2006, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what I saw too.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like again, I've never seen a lot of the old games because the games there's a couple games that take place during that, but like I've never seen the 4th or the 5th all the way. Mm-hmm. But like I can think about like during the in the games there's the organizations, Umbrella. Then you got the one where Chris is in, which is Chris is Claire's brother. Oh. Yeah, and I don't remember the organization's name.
Wasn't he a STARS agent? Or
he was STARS, and then he moved from STARS to, I think, BACC or whatever, something like that.
Okay.
So he joins that organization, and based off that, like with the new game that's out right now, Resident Evil Village, the new organization or the organization he's with is becoming corrupt.
Okay.
So slowly, like in that time frame, maybe Leon just didn't want to expose it because some of the organizations over time are starting to become corrupt.
Okay.
Because they could just cover it up or something.
Here's my wrong. Why do they keep on becoming corrupt in such a pandemic? Like, come on, guys.
Well, it's over the years. I feel like it's
in this one, it's all about greed.
It is.
This all happened because one guy wanted money and tried to start a war with China for money. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Well, at the beginning, he said he was just trying to become high, like ranking officer so he can get paid more. But yeah, and at the end of it, he's like, yeah, I just want to do it for money now.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I start a war so they can fund my portion and then I can make more money and just dispose of troops, just go fight over there.
What is your guys' final ratings? Has it changed?
I'll give it a 6.5.
After his explanations, I'll give it a solid 5.
Solid 5? Okay. Yeah, I'm saying it at a 6. I think once we actually had it explained to us, we understand it a little bit more. So with that, I think I still would watch the next season, although I don't expect too much from it if they were to make one. So now I have some reviews that I pulled from online here. So this one's from an IMDb audience member. I took out the names of it because I didn't ask for permissions. So they gave it a 2 out of 10. A massive disappointment and total bore. Resident Evil Infinite Darkness feels like cheap and ultimately unsatisfying as being a waste of time. Any monster action that happens in this episode is very little, and Leon pretty much hogs all the spotlight once again. What about poor Claire? She pretty much does nothing for almost all of it except spill out the conspiracy crap. If only the story was actually interesting and had good dialogue and writing. Well, got some bad news for you. It's probably worse than the latest Resident Evil games. Heck, I'd pick any of the previous CGI animated films over this without a shadow of a doubt. At least they had some action sequences instead of being a total snooze fest. The finale was basically just degeneration again. Leon and Claire only see each other for 10 minutes and are dull as dishwashers. Just awful. And honestly, the only things that I thought were mildly interesting in this were the zombie rats and references to the old games. So, thoughts on that review? Agree, disagree?
They just pretty much said exactly what we said.
Yeah.
I never thought that it wasn't boring. I mean, I fell asleep after the third, like halfway through third. So I extremely agree with that. That was one of the most boring
Resident Evil properties.
But I strongly fight with their opinion about the new game, the Resident Evil Village.
Oh yeah, that was a hot take.
I was like, whoa! Have you even seen the gameplay? Have you seen the lady's thickness?
Maybe they haven't played the game, so maybe that's why.
Oh, it's played the game. Well, the game doesn't even talk about Leon and Claire.
Yeah,
it's literally about. It takes place right after the Resident Evil. I think it's 8. I think that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. With Ethan and his wife. It takes place about them. It talks about them. It doesn't even mention Leon and Claire. So I don't know what this person's talking about with the new game.
I think they're just comparing.
Yeah.
They're not talking about like character-wise. They're just comparing.
Alright, so this Metacritic gave it a 58 out of 100. Season 1 review. Rather than giving video game fans what they want or ignoring video game fans and just doing what Paul W.S. Anderson wants, it seemed like the team behind Infinite Darkness just disregarded everybody and found some room in the Resident Evil canon where they could tell a story about government conspiracies and zombie-related PTSD and lovable pretty boy Leon Kennedy, but Freeing itself from those expectations has resulted in a TV show that, while far from a masterpiece, exceeds most expectations of the video game adaptation. So, agree, disagree?
Yeah.
I blanked out there.
He's so down.
Well, yeah, this guy really goes far in depth. And,
Yeah, he knows his stuff,
Yeah.
apparently.
Or, like, again, I mean, it's an old franchise. This guy probably has played the game since day one. So, I mean, like I said, I agree with them. I mean, of course, it's all about Leon. You know, he's a gorgeous boy.
He's a pretty boy, yep. Alright, this Rotten Tomato audience member gave it a 1 out of 5. Exhausting just to watch. Almost fell asleep, just like you, during this Boarfest at least 5 times. That's a lot, though.
Man, 5 times
in
weak
4
sauce.
episodes?
Yeah.
Weak sauce. I would have fell asleep one time.
He said almost fall asleep. You did fall asleep.
Yeah, he did actually fall asleep.
Yeah, I didn't even. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep leading up to the fight scene, the big fight scene. I don't
What?
know.
This Rotten Tomatoes critic gave it a 3 out of 5. Infinite Darkness is ultimately inessential yet oddly captivating slice of Resident Evil.
Okay, actually, that's. Yeah, I mean.
Short, sweet, and gets to the point. That's what this guy's trying to get.
I mean, they're not wrong. It's definitely inessential. If
I don't know if I'd call it captivating though.
There were some parts that got my attention, but not for long, obviously.
Like, it's just like the show was just a giant reference to a lot of the games, though. Like you pointed out, it was reference to 4 and 5. So if you never played it.
Yeah, you
probably
kind of
why-
need to have some knowledge before going into this.
That's probably why he said it how he said it, because he probably played the game.
Yeah,
So that's probably why he states that.
it's oddly captivating. I can see it. All right, so now we're going to get into some content we've seen this week. So, what is some things you guys have watched during this week that you guys want to talk about?
I'll let you guys go first.
I mean, the only thing I could really want to talk about is what's it called? The Purge, the Forever Purge.
Yes.
Seen that? I didn't see that exactly this week, but I seen that last week on like a weekend. So I mean, overall, I think the show, that movie, call it a show.
Yeah, we keep switching because
the Resident Evil wanted to be a
Resident
show, not a movie.
Yeah.
But no, but that movie was. I honestly enjoyed it. I highly recommend. I mean, Eddie, you've seen it as well.
Yes, I agree. It's a good movie. It's definitely, if you're a right-wing conservative, you might not enjoy it as much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because it's very much a political take, but they execute it really well. It's not like all in your face. It's actually a good story.
I have no comment on that because I've never seen any of the Purge movies, so.
I mean, I've had someone tell me that the only Purge movie they've seen was the very first one, and that was the only movie they're ever gonna watch because they feel like the rest of them are just like sellouts in a sense, so they just shouldn't get money. Which
Cash grabs.
yeah, cash grabs basically. Which I was gonna come back to that with the Resident Evil real quick.
Oh,
I feel like the new show is just a cash grab
yeah, probably.
because you know.
Get from the game, from the new game.
Yeah, well, just not from the new game, but overall because Resident
Yeah, I mean, they're just taking the hype from the new
Yeah,
game.
they're trying to bank off that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably why they added it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, no, the Purge, the rest of them probably might be cash grabs, but I like them. I've seen all of them. I'm a big fan of the Purge as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I liked it.
I watched a couple movies this week actually, so I watched all 3 of the rest of the
Fear Street?
Fear Street trilogy, and the first one may not be that good, but the number 2 and 3 are pretty good. I'd definitely watch the entire trilogy because of that. And let's just say, it is not what you expect the twist to be. There is a twist in it, and it's definitely not what you expect.
Ooh.
So that was cool.
I still gotta watch those. So I'll check them out. He said that they're the next 2 are actually better than the first one.
and my
The first one
opinion-
was the worst one.
Yeah, the first one is definitely my least favorite out of the 3.
Okay.
And I also, just today actually, before I came here, I saw the new Space Jam movie, and
Rip to Lola though. Rip to Lola. We gotta bring it up. Come on.
yeah,
What were your thoughts on the new Space Jam?
honestly, I think it's better, with the exception of Michael Jordan. Not Michael Jordan. LeBron James.
LeBron
yeah.
James. LeBron, yeah, then Michael Jordan was the old one.
I understand he's a basketball player and not an actor, but even I could act better than that.
would you recommend watching it in a theater or
Yes,
at
I
home?
would. I would recommend it in theater. Strongly.
I thought you said you wouldn't recommend it.
No, I watched it on HBO, but I would recommend watching it in theater.
Oh, for your first time watching it?
For your first time watching it in theaters. Because it is, visually speaking, it is very beautiful.
Okay.
Like, a lot of vibrant colors, a lot of wacky characters, and it's not just Looney Tunes. Like, in the original Space Jam, it was specifically, like, Looney Tunes, and there were some crossovers there, here and there occasionally. But this feels like what they did with Ready Player One, where everywhere you look, there was a cameo. They have...
Warner Brothers characters, right?
Yeah, they have almost every Warner Brothers character in this movie. If you look hard enough, you'll notice a lot of things. It is so cool to see. I mean, they don't play a big part in it, but you'll recognize them when they show up. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but you'll recognize a lot of them. There's some very, very good ones. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they actually put this in the kids' movie, actually. Like, wow. It blew me away. But yeah, LeBron James can't act for crap. There was some...
what do you mean? He's probably high-end. That's why they paid millions for his acting.
There was some, like, heartwarming scenes, and he ruined them so much. Like, he was, I don't know if it's the right term, but monotone the entire time.
Oh, okay,
like,
yeah.
No
just
emotion.
one tune the whole time. Gotcha.
He tried so hard, but it was bad. Overall, I'd still watch it in theaters, and I'd give this movie 8 out of 10.
Oh, and what would you give The Purge?
The Purge? Oh, I give it an 8.5.
8.5? All right.
I like how it tied into the rest of them in a sense.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what I watched this week, I watched Loki because it was originally released June 9th of 2021, but every week they released a new episode, and it actually ended this week. So the plot of Loki is Loki resumes his role as the God of Mischief in a new series that takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame. So if you remember from Avengers Endgame, he gets the Tesseract and he disappears with it. And that's not supposed to happen. So this organization called the TVA steps in and they try to prevent him from causing any more chaos. So it's created by Michael Waldron, stars Tom Hiddleston, Owen Wilson, if you're a fan of Owen Wilson, and Sophia Di Martino. And I rate it a 7 out of 10. I like the way that they introduce time travel, and every episode left me with more questions I wanted answered, because like there's like stuff that would happen that's just like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next week? I wonder. It's cool having a weekly series. And obviously all the TVA memes were funny. I don't know if you guys saw those.
I've only seen the first episode still.
Oh yeah?
I'm a little behind.
I've yet to see it, so I mean I've seen memes for it, but I won't understand them.
So overall, I think it was resolved too quick. They could have done a better job with the time traveling.
From what I hear, show brings a whole new meaning to self-love.
Yes, yes it does. You gotta watch it to find out.
I know enough about that.
I also saw Beastar Season 2. It's actually released July 15th of 2021. The full season was released on Netflix, and I binged it all in one night. So the plot is, in the world of anthropomorphic animals, a reclusive wolf's complicated relationships with a kindly rabbit is tested by a classmate's murder, a charismatic deer's influence, and his own predatory instincts. It's created by Paru Itakagi, I can't pronounce names, starring Shikahiro Kobayashi and Yuki Ono. And I rate this second season a 7 out of 10. I remember I tried to get you guys into it, but you weren't.
The show just creeps me out in general.
So you're like how Jesus felt about American animation with there's like Zootopia.
Oh yeah.
That's how you feel about this show.
Yes, pretty much.
Well, see, the thing with me, I got started, like I watched it with my fiance. We started it. We just never finished the first season. But that's just because when I watch a show, I like to like bench it, just like how you are. And then, like she goes slow. She's like, "Oh, I'm tired." I'm like,
"We'll watch 2 episodes."
And then like she's like, "I'm tired." I'm like, "How are you tired? This is good. I'm just tired." Like, oh. And then we just take a minute to pick back where we left off.
I don't think this season was as good as the last because they kind of omitted the high school and world building aspects just to focus on the main character's story. And it all kind of took place in one location, so it wasn't as good this season. Oh, I also watched a movie this week called Pig. It was released July 16th of 2021. I think you'll like it. The plot is a truffle hunter, which if you don't know what a truffle is, my fiance told me it's like a type of fungus or mushroom, right? That you collect for like these really expensive dishes. So a truffle hunter who lives in the Oregonian wilderness must return to his past in Portland in search of his beloved foraging pig after she is kidnapped. So it's directed by Michael Sarnowski, starring Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage,
Yep,
you got me so
and
ass
Alex
on like,
Wolff.
wait, Nicolas Cage, he's sold.
It's rated R, and I rate it an 8 out of 10. So the plot is literally just Nick Cage looking for his pig. That's the whole plot of the movie. But,
Did they add this on Netflix then?
no, this is in, I don't know if it's on Netflix. We saw it in theaters.
Oh, it's in
Still
theaters?
in theaters, yes. Still in theaters if you want to watch it.
I think I've seen like when I was looking through movies. I think I've seen that as an option for a movie. I never clicked on it to be what it was, but I've seen it like the option for it. So
I just gotta say Nick Cage still got it.
So this came out during the same time as Space Jam.
Yeah, July 6th. Yeah, so it's obviously there wasn't that many people in the theater because like it's competing with a pretty big title that's released. You know, Space Jam. There, like when we went to watch the movie, Pig, there was so many people lined up to see Space Jam. Like people wearing, there was a guy wearing a Space Jam shirt.
Oh, wow.
He was like,
Respect, bro.
like-
That's respect right there.
yeah. So yeah, but I enjoyed it. You don't really watch it for the plot because, like I said, it's just him looking for a pig. You watch it for the characters, how they interact with situations presented them. You also got to listen for the dialogue because that's what builds the story. So it's a great movie, and I actually recommend everyone to go watch it if you haven't seen it yet.
This movie probably won't get Nick Cage out of his huge debt, I doubt.
No,
Unfortunately.
it's
Wait,
not.
I
gonna
want
make
him
him-
debt?
He's been in debt for long. That's why he does all these out of the way movies because he has no choice. He has to pay off his debt, so he's taking every
What's
role
he
he
in
can
debt
get.
for?
Because he spends his money on a lot of useless crap,
Oh, okay.
like dinosaur bones and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
dinosaur.
That's fine. That's normal.
Yeah.
And the last movie I watched this week was Escape Room: Tournament of Champions.
Have you seen the first one?
I actually didn't know this was a sequel. I went into
What?
it. I went into
What?
it.
Wait, what?
What? You never seen
This
the
is a
first
sequel
one?
movie. I haven't seen the first one. I went into it thinking it was
Have
a
you
new
seen the
movie.
first one?
Could you
What?
look up Escape Room? I think
You
I've
guys
seen.
are. You guys are.
yes.
This is a horror movie, right?
I mean, it doesn't really.
Yeah, it's like a survival
It
movie.
takes place right after this
The
one,
original Escape movie.
Yes,
Doesn't it?
this
You
is
guys gonna watch
a
the first one at least?
I don't know where to watch it.
We want to watch it, but you have to pay
If
everywhere to
it's what I
watch
think
it.
it is, because I think I've seen the original Escape
It's the
Room movie.
2019 one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this one.
Um,
No, yeah, this
Yeah,
is
that's the one.
this is the original one. Yes.
They show like.
I
a
can't
little
really
bit of a recap.
Yeah,
play because
oh,
we're
I
watching.
can't believe you guys watched
no, I don't
this
think this is the
sequel.
same one.
Oh,
No.
I can't even show
Yeah.
audio.
You can mute it. I can see it.
Yeah, so.
Of course, I've seen it, so I know what the movie is about.
Let me see if I can pull up my review at the same time. There we go. So
You
yeah,
can click on that while that's there.
oh, I can click on this one.
No,
Oh, okay.
Like,
We're having
Yes,
technical
there's there.
difficulties.
yep, gold it. Slide right there. And slide it to the side.
Let's
Hold it.
go! Come on,
Yep, like that.
let's
And click on
do
that.
it. Oh
There
shit! Okay,
No, this is not the same escape room that I saw. I saw a different one. It was probably.
so the plot for this new
Wow.
one: 6 people unwittingly find themselves locked in another series of escape rooms, slowly uncovering what they have in common to survive. Joining forces with the 2 original survivors, they discover they've all played the game before. It was released July 16th of 2021, also the same week as Space Jam and Pig. Directed by Adam Robidell, starring Taylor Russell and Logan Miller, rated PG-13. So it is a sequel to the original. It's the Tournament of the Champions. So basically, they take the champions and they put them in more games. So that sucks
Sounds
for
like
them.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, kind of. I
Like
mean,
where they took in one of them, didn't they take like? all
yeah,
the
they took the
previous
survivors
champions?
and they put them in more games. Except this is like a clue type of game. You gotta get these clues if you want to live. So I rate it a 6 out of 10. I never saw the original one.
Probably would have been better if you saw the original one.
Yeah,
as well.
so that's kind of what I went in. The challenges were really cool. But I found the acting to be a little bit bland at times, because like when the characters were constantly freaking out. I get it, they're fighting for their lives, but like it's weird to just see one emotion the whole movie.
I don't even recognize the actors' names. That's starring actors.
Yeah, I think they're not in very big films. I know my fiance one is in Love. What was it?
The main guy characters in Love, Simon.
Love, Simon. Yes. So yeah,
Oh.
he's in a show. But it was enjoyable, and I don't think I'd rewatch it unless I was watching it with a group of friends, because then we could all commentate on it as we're watching it.
Man, I can't believe you guys just watched a random movie like that.
I wanna
not knowing
see
it
it.
was a sequel.
we watch like 2 or 3 movies a week at theaters, because we have the VIP subscription.
See, that's what I was questioning. How does that? Isn't it just by month? Don't you get free movies by month?
Every week you get to watch 3 movies for free.
Oh, is that the
You
new
only pay
Celebration-
$20,
Is that
yeah.
the Celebration Cinema
Yes.
premium now?
So you only pay $20 a month. You get to watch 3 movies a week.
Yeah.
And then we also bought the popcorn bucket, so we don't have to pay for popcorn. So
Oh,
really,
nice.
we don't pay for anything. We just go in and watch 3 movies a week. We only pay for the soda, which is $5.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh man, this one that I like the first one. I'm not gonna lie. I just from like because if you like escape rooms, like I've done one escape room.
Yeah, it's
And
literally just an escape room, but deadly.
Yeah, but just real. Yeah, like you could die. I mean, I liked the very first one when watching it. So I mean, I was excited to see the second one. I didn't know it came out already.
Yeah, it's already out.
So it's something I can look forward to watching. So there's that, and I gotta watch Space Jam.
You gotta watch Pig.
Yeah, Pig.
Now let's roll the credits. So, you guys have any recommendations for any media for the viewers to watch?
New media? Well, there's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
You
check
can
him out on
subscribe
his
to me,
Twitch
please.
channel.
Please.
Help him out. I've been watching these YouTube videos by this content creator called Dr. Skipper. He just does icebergs and a lot of cool stuff. Like he'll do icebergs on like Nickelodeon or Disney Channel, stuff like that. I listen to those while I work because it's something to listen to.
I actually might have a channel.
Yeah, I don't
You guys can
have
talk while I
anything.
find it.
Yeah, so I enjoy that type of content. It's icebergs, it's just every layer you just go down and to more obscure stuff you didn't really know about. It's more like just trivia facts.
So right now, all I'm just trying to do is catch up on like old seasonal animes. That's all.
Oh,
I'm doing.
okay. Just some animes.
Yeah.
Animes are cool too.
Yeah, I just like right now I'm watching like how, I think it's called How Not to Summon a Demon Lord or whatever.
Oh, how is it?
I mean, I'm watching the second season
Oh,
right
that's not a
now.
bad series.
Yeah, I'm watching the second season right now because they finally released it on Funimation because I think it was a Crunchyroll exclusive for a while.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Oh,
I'm watching it in dub, so just trying to finish catching up in that. I think they released the slime anime. I'm trying to think of the full name.
Oh, I got reincarnated as a slime.
I think they released another season this for the summer season.
That one's a pretty big one. They have like, what? Yeah, 3rd season you said?
Yeah, 4th I believe.
Fourth
now.
season?
Or
Yeah.
it's part of season like they did a half of one in the
Oh,
winter.
and they're picking it back up.
picking it back up for the
Okay.
summer.
Okay, so here's some reason I got these recommended to me. Like, there's these channels called.
Some reason?
Yes, well, it's because I watch a lot of
The
movies.
algorithm
Yeah.
is a mystery.
This, this is not. I'm not specific to any channel, but anything that's like story recap. This is the channel that I'm on. It's called Story Recap, and they basically recap movies, sci-fi movies, and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool because you're basically watching a movie in like 12 minutes, and then if
Oh.
you like the idea of the movie, you can go and watch it yourself.
Okay.
And
So
I found that-
similar content than when we're
Yeah,
what
pretty
we're making.
much.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's really cool because I get a lot of movie recommendations. Like, there was a movie called Stargate, and I never watched because it looked boring to me. But then I saw them talk about Stargate, and the way they explained it, I was like, let me go on just Netflix and let me watch this movie. And I watched it. I didn't finish it because I did get bored eventually. But
I got bored eventually, so it wasn't that good.
I
to keep
finished.
you going.
I finished more than 3/4 of it. So the ending got boring, but overall, I still enjoyed the fact that it got me to watch a movie that I never would have watched normally. So, just this one's called Story Recap. So if you look up Story Recap, you can watch.
You must have seen something with the recap then.
Yeah, I watch stuff like that. I guess
Yeah, because that's the only way they would bring up a channel like that.
like This one right here is about Wicked Man turns human into a walrus.
No,
The,
a tusk.
Yeah, Tusk right there. See,
See, I think that's why I brought it up.
Don't watch Tusk.
hey, it's
I highly recommend you not watch Tusk.
yeah, don't watch Tusk. It's a weird movie, but
Yeah, you keep recommending it. You keep bringing it up.
it's a weird movie, okay?
So then why are you telling why are you telling the viewers not to watch it? But you're always
Because
just like,
everyone should watch it at least once,
oh my goodness.
just so they can tell people not to watch it.
I remember the very first time you tried making us all sit there and watch it. We got through like what? 4
We
minutes?
got through a good amount actually,
We got-
but it was a struggle to get through that much.
I just remember getting through. We started it. We got through like I don't know 20 minutes of it, and we're like, "Holy smokes, this is a very boring movie."
Yeah,
And then we were like, let's skip to the good part. And then like, said, okay, go to this part. And we scrolled through it. He's like, okay, stop right there. Click play. And you're like, what happened? He's like, oh yeah. In that entire middle frame, you see him turn into the walrus.
The guy basically.
it was so stupid.
It's a stupid movie. Since this is an old movie, I will spoil it because obviously, if you're either gonna watch it or you're not.
There's another movie that's on Netflix. It's a clown movie. Let me see what
Is
album.
it Terrifier or something like that?
Yeah,
that's a good one actually.
That
I haven't
one,
seen it.
you should. That one's a weird one. You can, if you want it.
That one's actually not bad.
It's just weird.
Out of most clown movies, that's probably one of my favorites.
What?
Ooh,
No.
what
no.
about it?
Yeah,
It is a good
it's a
series.
good one.
It is a high budget movie.
That's
so
true.
This is
Well, I'm
low
thinking
budget.
the old classic, not the new one. The old classic.
Oh.
I like that one way more than the. I like the new one.
The new
because-
one was good. The second one was kind of garbage. The first one that
Well,
came out in 2017.
The second one of the new one
The second one of the new one, yes.
is better than the original.
What?
The original.
You like it part 2?
It part 2, the original, was not good in my
Well,
opinion. It was-
remember, it part 2 all took place in the same movie. That's
well,
why.
yes, but-
Yeah.
So that's
the old one was all just one movie.
Yeah, it was
They put
like what, like 3 hours long, I believe.
Because it
That's-
was, yeah.
I didn't enjoy part 2 of the original.
I don't know. I like the original It overall compared to the new one, but I do like the new one with the part 2 describing, like, talking more about it.
Their background, yeah.
So maybe that's just me.
So what's our plan for next week? I was thinking Snake Eyes.
I'm down for that.
Does that come out actually next week?
That
Yeah.
comes out next Friday, yes. Or next Thursday.
I am 100% down to watch that movie.
Okay.
I don't know if Tisha's gonna want to watch Snake Eyes, but I'm down to watch.
So that'll be our next podcast for next week. We're posting weekly. I'll try to get this up on Monday. Well, now I'm just talking to you guys. I'll try to get this up on Monday. So that's all we have for you guys this week. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed today's podcast. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And comment down below on what your thoughts on Resident Evil were.
Best
Follow-
name is Bill Butts.
How do you name your kid that? That is just...
No, you just look at him like his face looks like a butt. That's how I'm gonna go with.
Follow these guys on their social media. That's all I have for you guys today. Peace!